There we go. Okay, getting things set up here. I'll wait for a few people to come in before we get started. Crazy night so far here. Normandy Park, SeaTac. Some nice snow showers moving through today. Some thunder snow, a couple rounds of it, north and over Seattle City proper as well. Pause that for a second. Hello, everybody. Thanks for joining. You guys see that snow band move through pretty good all the way from Seattle down through Normandy Park, SeaTac. Portions of Tacoma got it. Des Moines. It came across the Puget Sound, hammered Vashon Island as well. Passed through Renton, South Center, Tukwila. Yeah, there's more rounds coming. There's certainly more rounds coming. We had a lot of snow up north today. Also had some thunderstorm activity. You guys saw the water spout there that I posted on Twitter. Up near Blaine, Washington. I'll let this just kind of play through here. This is what I got before this last round of snow moved through that dropped an inch in not very long a time. Look at that curtain. And this was snow pellets, pure snow pellets, all of it. When it hit, it coated everything immediately. It was intense. It got very windy. And yeah, I mean, virtually zero visibility when it came over initially. It just completely blanketed. And speaking of near whiteout conditions for at least a time. But yeah, just an amazing wall that moved through. And I'll pause it right there. But you can see the curtain just moving across. I was like, man, what is this thing going to bring? And this also did produce that lightning strike there near Boeing Field. I heard the thunder. I didn't see the lightning strike. So it technically counts as thunder snow for me. But I wish I could have seen the strike. I wish it was a little bit closer there. But yeah. The Willamette Valley is a different thing. Yeah, we're not. It's lesser chances the further south you go across the Willamette Valley. The further north you go, Portland north, it probably gets some at times. We'll take a look at the latest on that here tonight. But yeah, through the Willamette Valley, you're not going to get as much as like some areas of the Puget Sound and some of the Washington coast and some of the mountain areas are getting. There's still a chance though, and we'll take a look at some of that. So let's see here. We got already over 400 people watching here. Hopefully you guys got to saw that shower move through. I'll bring up the radar scope and I'll play it out. Let's go back down to settings and I will bring it up to a few more frames so we can kind of go back and play that through. And you know, you might think that these showers are kind of, you know, I'll go ahead and zoom in a little bit. This is the one that hit me. There's also been some pretty good stuff going on across some areas north, like places like Ferndale. There's a thunderstorm. Check out a couple of lightning strikes there. Up across some Whatcom County as well. I'm actually getting a call from Highline Public Schools. I wonder if they're canceling school for tomorrow because it's pretty impressive out there right now. My road is covered white, and I'm not that far from Puget Sound, and cars are slipping and sliding in my neighborhood here. So it is very treacherous out there. Be careful if you're out and about. And here, I'll put this to a pause and I'll back this up. So that is the band right there. See the lightning strike? Very close to Boeing Field, right there. And you can see when that occurred right there. And I'm down here towards Normandy Park. So I heard it, but I didn't see the flash. And if I back up a little bit more, right about there, that is when I was watching the curtain come across. And something to note here, the Camano Island Doppler radar is a fair distance from where I am. I mean, if you look at that, that's 3,500 feet high, 50 miles away. So I'm pretty sure if this was closer to the Doppler, you would have seen much more orange in this because this was very heavy precipitation. So you have to take into account things like that when you're looking at the Doppler radar. This was a very intense area of precipitation. And again, some of this convection is very low topped. So it was missing the bottom 3,500, 4,000 feet of this shower. So very intense precipitation below, 4,000 feet with this convection. So yeah, it was very intense. But that's what I was showing you right. And I wish it wouldn't keep starting over like that, but I'll stop it there. And this is what I was showing you there. That's about the time of that image here. And you can kind of see if I back it up. I was running a time lapse with the drone. and I left the drone up a little bit too long, and I'll show you what happened when I started coming down. I was flying it in the snow pellets. It was hard to land. The drone was getting a bit confused, and I'll show you that starting now. Here I was coming down. You can see how heavy the precipitation was, and watch as I get towards the deck here. You can kind of see the snow pellets bouncing around out there as well. It was all snow pellets for probably the first 15 minutes of the showers that came across. Play that for you one more time. And there was virtually no snow before this started. It had just immediately coated stuff. So yeah, that was pretty fun. Now taking a look at what's going on right now. So this is pretty interesting. You can see the Arctic air streaming off of southeast Alaska and some of British Columbia and wrapping back around. And then you see this cyclonic rotation, which starts to bring those showers back up into western Washington, western Oregon, the coastal areas. And this was spawning the thunderstorm activity today. Again, there's at least 1, 2, 3, 4, I think at least 5 or 6 lightning strikes today. So, you know, not to brag or anything, but I was calling that thunderstorm potential, 4 or 5 days in advance. So nice to see that come into fruition. Just kind of, it gives you a little bit more confidence when you are doing these forecasts. But yeah, again, more cold air cumulus out here. Probably some showers still moving around as we go through tonight. And in fact, let's take a look at that really quick, and we'll bounce out towards the Langley Doppler because the Camino Island can't see through the Olympics. So as you see these showers emerging there, click on Camino Island or the Langley Doppler, and you'll go here and you'll see additional showers coming here. And as it gets away from the radar, that might be a little bit tricky there. It's probably just because the radar is getting farther away from the radar. But you see Olympia, another snow shower coming up here. Some of the coastal areas has had multiple rounds of snow. I might go out there tomorrow morning. We'll see how that goes. And you can see down across portions of Oregon as well. Look, there's some heavier showers in here, some snow pellets, and that can coat the ground as well. You don't have to be at freezing when these showers start. These snow pellet showers can easily coat the ground. All right, 600 people watch. Let me catch up on the chat a little bit here. Western Washington weather is in the house. Kurt Kaplan is here. Garrett Hartung. Garrett wants some weather down in Oregon. I don't blame him. Let's see. We've got a lot of members in here. Kelly Hamilton, Randall Jones, Pyro Mike, Drew. So let's see. But yeah, there are some snow chances midweek as well. We're going to go over that. 5 inches of snow. I see that in Vancouver, BC. Nice. Thanks for the updates. Keep the observations coming. Federal Way, about 3/4 of an inch to an inch of snow throughout the day here. Yeah, we got a really good hit from that last one because I got 1 inch in that last shower as this moved over the area earlier. We got a full inch just out of that last shower. I got about 2/10 before that and about 1/10 of an inch yesterday. So I'm about 1.3 inches here just west of SeaTac for the entire event so far. I'm not driving around yet. 5 inches in Maple Valley. Nice. Why do the clouds look different? Well, the only thing I can think of what you might mean there is probably the air aloft is so darn right cold that you can imagine, you know, there's a lot of frozen precipitation coming down there, and that, you know, it blocks out the light quite nicely, and it makes for a nice curtain as you bring this in. So here, we'll watch that again. There's 3 Tree Point, there's Puget Sound, and again, just like a wall of doom here moving across and just absolutely blanketed the region really quickly. And then if you didn't see this, I'll play this one more time. The drone, as I was trying to land it here, you can see it coming down and the snow pellets just bouncing around on everything. So yeah, we got 1 inch out of that shower right there. And again, this is what's going on right now. And if you look down across California, man, they've had some intense precipitation as well. Atmospheric river continues to stream in. Very cold air dropping down. This is like a gear in a machine just steering the subtropical moisture across Northern California, Southern Oregon, Idaho, into Montana. Some big snowfall across the mountains there for Idaho and Montana. And then you see that Kona low out here starting to slowly drift to the west. Eventually, this is probably going to be the kicker that brings the frontal system down towards Southern California also. Something else I want to look at. Let me try to catch up on the chat here a little bit. Yeah, you would have got, yeah, I see a lot of reports of snow coming in. So yeah, if you guys remember and you go back over the daily forecast, yesterday was, you know, still fairly warm at the surface. Today cooled down a little bit. We're getting a little bit more today, and we're going to continue to get a little bit colder. The problem is on Monday and Tuesday is the low's going to pull away from the coastal areas here. But as it does, it kind of reorganizes here. Then the models show the potential for it starting to push back towards the coastline as we go through the midweek period. So we could still bring some interesting snowfalls as we go through the midweek period coming up. So again, this low is going to start to retrograde, spin, and then come back as we go through today, Wednesday, it looks like. Arlington, 6+ inches, 3.5 yesterday, 3 today. 4 north of Arlington, says Keith Evans. It's been raining 2 days straight in Boise. Yeah, you're not getting the Arctic air down into the Treasure Valley yet. You're still underneath kind of that warm, moist atmospheric river. But across the higher terrain and areas further north, it's a bit colder where this moisture is streaming back up over. 1 to 3 tomorrow night in Tacoma. That's a possibility, definitely. Here, let me show you what's going on in the upper levels of the atmosphere. So here we are at 500 millibars, 18,000 feet. And you notice how the lobe does this little retrograde thing here? So that's what's going on as we go through tomorrow. Still going to get some showers moving around though, but look as we go into Tuesday, you'll notice that start to wrap back in here. And then this upper level low, the surface low, is not done with us. It's still going to spread some precipitation back in here most likely, and things could be pretty chilly. We could get some interesting snow amounts. It only takes subtle features to really drop some heavy amounts of snowfall when you are slightly below freezing. No, the showers are not done for tonight. They are absolutely not done for tonight. If we take a look here at the Doppler, like I mentioned this a little bit ago, but take a look at this. If you're under one of these showers, you can get a quick 1/2 inch of snowfall. And if some of the heavier ones, you could even get 1 inch. I got 1 inch out of this one right here. You can see it kicked off a lightning strike right there by Boeing Field. We had lightning up here by Ferndale, and you can see some of these heavy showers up here as well. If you get underneath one of those, you can easily get a couple inches of snowfall in an hour with some of this. And this one came across Whidbey Island, probably brought snowfall down to the surface there. We look at Camano Island, and you can see it looks a little bit different there. But some of these showers here moving across some of Skagit and Whatcom County are definitely bringing measurable snowfall as we speak. This is moving across some of the King County, Snohomish County line. Highway 2, some nice snowfalls occurring there. And then you see Kitsap Peninsula, it's starting to snow for some places again here. And yeah, it doesn't take much. And again, if you go to Langley, you see all these showers off the coastline. Those are still trying to march in as we go through tonight. So if you're out and about, do not let your guard down, and you might catch a very nice scene as one of these heavier showers moves over your individual area. Like Olympia is probably under the gun here over the next hour as this starts to move in. Ben and Jonathan are live under the snow showers in Whatcom County. Yeah, looks like that activity is kind of waning a bit here, but the yellow is still pretty good on when it's snowing. I mean, it's still pretty impressive. Not sticking in South Whatcom County yet. I don't know if you're right on the water or what that would be, but okay. Drove through some of the heaviest snow I've ever seen coming back from Snoqualmie Pass. Yeah, I wonder if you passed through that shower there also. But yeah, we got a lot more showers to go, as I showed you. And as I showed you there, the North American, this isn't high resolution. I hope I didn't say that. But again, you can kind of see how we get the retrograde as we go through Monday, Tuesday. Then it starts to move back towards the coastline as we go through Wednesday. That's a time that I'm kind of highlighting for some snowfall potential there. And if we take a look at the European, so this is the 18Z. So here we go. This is right about where we are now. There's 7 o'clock. So again, if you watch the surface low as we go through tonight, it is slowly drifting back to kind of the south and west here, but it still will be spreading showers across the area. And as it drops down, and it starts to spin back as we go through the day Wednesday. And I'm watching this feature here. You can see these surface winds start to turn. They're going to be easterly at the surface at this point. This again is at 5,000 feet. But when you get a surface low here and it's producing some precipitation, there's going to be some kind of deformation band or some kind of convergence going on. And the European is showing some heavy snowfall potential with this for some individual areas. So again, this feature right there, see that cyclonic spin? That's what I'm watching here as we go on in through Wednesday night, Thursday, and maybe on into Friday coming up. And then what's going to come after that, who knows? But if we look at the North American model, the 00Z, this is hot off the presses. I'm going to put this into motion. Again, you see the surface low back up as we go through Wednesday, but then again, the moisture starts to approach here as we go on and through Wednesday night into Thursday. So we got to watch what kind of bands are going to set up with that, because it will be cold enough to fall as snow for places like Seattle, SeaTac, Olympia. I wouldn't pay attention to that rainfall there too much. But yeah, interesting stuff. And if we go ahead and duplicate that, and I'll go to surface temperature really quick. We're going to do Fahrenheit. I'm going to look at Washington right now, and we'll see what I can see parts of Northern Oregon with this one as well. So let's see. As we go on in through the day Wednesday, let's see, we'll probably warm up at some point on the day of Wednesday, just kind of a typical diurnal cycle. But some of these chilly overnight lows, again, the freezing conditions and the black ice and whatnot could get quite treacherous. And look, as we go through Wednesday morning, very chilly in the outlying areas. I mean, you're talking about Arlington at 20, a lot of 20s out there, some teens up towards southwest BC. You go through the day Wednesday, we do go above freezing during the day, but once any precipitation were to start, that's about 6 p.m. You can see Seattle drops to 32, Tacoma 32 or so, Olympia 34. But if any precipitation starts, I mean, look at that. By 8 o'clock at night, Seattle's at 30, and that's when the European has precipitation coming back across some of western Washington, including maybe down towards, looks like Portland's getting a bit chilly here as well. So we got to watch for precipitation during that Wednesday night time frame all the way down to Portland and some of western Washington. Again, depending on how far north some of this moisture from that little surface feature I showed you out there goes. And then look at that Thursday morning, man, chilly, 21 degrees. Howdy, Bill. We're heading northeast towards Blaine, running parallel, about to pull ahead on the left. Okay, so is this... Yeah, that's... Okay, if that... Maybe that's Ben or Jonathan. I don't know. Jonas Miller. That's interesting there, because maybe he just knows that those guys are out there. But yeah, somebody's having fun with the Jonas Miller thing. Thanks for the generosity. That is funny stuff. Okay, so let's take a look here. We got hello, Mark Stewart is in the house. Sticking in northern Whatcom County. I-5 right now is a mess. Yeah, man, it's slick outside right now. It was 32 degrees, so the temperature was actually still dropping. Department of Transportation camera showing I-5 and Pack Highway are really bad between 516 and 518. I believe that. Let's see. Trying to read through all the remarks here. Kind of hard to tell. Portland snow is possible. We'll look at that here in a moment. But yeah, thanks for the generosity, Jonas Miller, getting the super chats kicked off. Okay, so yeah, so again, as we go through, I'll stop here. So we drop below freezing in Seattle at 32. Olympia's at 34 on Wednesday. Olympia goes below at 06Z. So we'll do this. We'll duplicate that, and we'll go to European. We're going to go to 6 hourly here, and we're going to scroll out. And by the way, let's look at this and try to see what's going on for tonight. So this is tomorrow morning. Still getting some showers, Whatcom County schedule. There's still the hit and miss showers around. And again, it doesn't take much for these things to coat the ground. It's kind of tricky. During the day Monday, some showers out and about. Look at that across some of Pierce County near Tacoma, Coast, Everett, Arlington, hit and miss, Kitsap. There's Monday afternoon. There's Monday night. We go on to Tuesday morning, and another round of showers is still around. Again, if these fall overnight, man, this is really slick. It's going to make things really slick out there. Patty Gifford, welcome to High Tier Channel Sport. Patty Gifford, Patty Gifford is the one who brought the personalized mugs over to my house. I've given a few of those to people at my work. Everybody's getting a kick out of those mugs. Thanks, Patty Gifford. So yeah, Tuesday, overnight Monday into Tuesday morning, treacherous stuff there. If some of these showers are flying around through the day Tuesday, still showers out there. A little bit of a break here as we go through Wednesday morning, maybe. Yeah, a little bit. More showers along the coast. And then we go through the day Wednesday, and look at this start to show up. This band here, I think, is part of the deformation band of that surface low pressure system that sets up Wednesday evening and Wednesday night. Look at that across kind of SeaTac, Renton, maybe some of the Seattle Metro, Kitsap Peninsula, out towards Olympia, Highway 12, out towards Aberdeen. And you can see some of this could be snowfall across Portland. Some of the Willamette Valley could be getting some snowfall at that time. So let's check 06Z on Thursday. Marginal. You can see you're just above freezing, but some of the precipitation that is occurring could drag you down towards freezing. So this is probably your best chance for accumulation here as you're going on in through the day Wednesday for the Willamette Valley. And if I take a look there, you can kind of see the marginal look to things there Wednesday afternoon. Wednesday night, does it get cold enough there? It could do that. And as you go through Thursday morning, look at that, still for the Portland Metro here. So yeah, we have a lot of stuff to watch here over the next few days. Brian of Oregon, thank you very much. Love your detailed explanations of all things weather in the Pacific Northwest. Brian of Oregon, thank you for your generosity. 19 in Linden. Oh yeah, so I was going to show this as well. Look at the Windy app. Now, you can see the Arctic air pouring off. I mean, it's just amazing. It's kind of mesmerizing. Look at the wind coming off of Southeast Alaska, Western BC. You imagine all the terrain features that the wind flows through as this Arctic air makes its way back out across Haida Gwaii, around the northern portion of Vancouver Island, and then back in. So it's taken somewhat of a short track, and this air aloft is so cold that you notice it warms up when it stops snowing, at least during the daytime hours. But as soon as one of these showers comes over you, it drops the temperature quite dramatically. That's because you're getting that cold air aloft, you're getting that convection, it's stirring things up, and that cold air aloft is dropping down towards the surface. So yeah, that's the reason for that. Now, if I zoom in closer, if you guys know, you've been listening to the channel the last few days, what is this northeast wind here? That's the Fraser River outflow. It's starting, it's moving out across, not towards Bellingham just yet. It's got kind of more of an easterly component, and you can still see the southerlies coming across Victoria, moving up across the San Juans here, and you see you still got the easterlies coming up the Strait of Georgia, but is starting to make its way out. And Okanagan River Valley is over here. It's actually not picking it up on it too much. I know there's been a wind shift out of the north here as well. You can kind of see it here. I guess it's up towards Kelowna, Lake Country in Kelowna. Is it getting towards Peachland? Sorry, I'm trying to see if it is getting towards Peachland. It is making its way down here. There's Summerland. There's Okanagan Falls. I can't see it too much there, but it is trying to make its way down somewhat here as well. Yeah, so that's the whole tricky part with the Wednesday forecast. So there's the Windy app right now. You still see the southerlies coming in here. This is still kind of an onshore flow here. That's why we are not below freezing for many years. But look at Olympia, it's close. It's actually 32 at my house here in Normandy Park as well. So there are some areas right down around freezing. You kind of hit that magic 31, 32, especially on the side roads. Things get icy quite quickly. Look at Abbotsford though, 26. You go inland a bit here. Look at Hope, 16 degrees. Yale, 12 degrees. Boston Bar, 8. Look, you get to the interior, Lighton, 1 degree. And we have Williams Lake, -6 right now. So yeah, very chilly in the interior there. But yeah, it gives you a good diagram of the terrain features out here. You can see the Chehalis Gap versus the Olympic Mountains there, so the air flows more freely here. And sometimes when these showers come in out of the south and west, and the flow aloft is west, you can get some of that rain showering here around Seattle, but you do get it more of an unfettered flow through the Chehalis Gap. Vanessa Lay, welcome to Basic Channel Support. Thank you. Cascade Foothills of Hood, 31 and calm, 2 to 3 inches. Nice. You still might get snow in Enumclaw coming up. I heard there was snow flying out there, maybe a different part of the area out there. 32 in Renton, decent coating of snow, 31 in Port Angeles. Yeah, Grace Harbor. Has it been snowing out there off and on today? Are these snow showers getting down towards the surface? Yeah, if you go down towards, I mean, it's pretty chilly even across Portland. It's 35. That's not too far off. Longview 32, Castle Rock. Chehalis is at 32 also. And it's pretty chilly on the coast here as well. And look at Forks at 25 degrees. I mean, my goodness. You think this onshore flow would keep them warm, but it's so darn cold aloft, and there's so much of this cold air rushing in that the showers and the cold air aloft are just keeping places like Forks with any kind of altitude pretty chilly. Port Angeles 30. Be freezing there. Trying to check out here for any other. Granite Falls at 28 right now. Oso at 25. Yeah, 35 with 30 in a northeast Portland at 300 feet, close enough to get it done with the passing. Yeah, absolutely. You would, yeah, that cold air aloft would easily put you down towards freezing if you get a shower tonight. So yeah, you could get some of that accumulation probably on the light side in Portland tonight. Snowing in Astoria. So anyway, that's the windy up here. You can zoom all the way out, and you can see kind of the ridge out here across the Gulf of Alaska and the Arctic air pouring off the continent. Nice visual there. All showers in Elma tonight have been snow. Roads bare when treated otherwise, about ½ inch. Yeah, so let's take another look there. Portland. There are some showers coming. Let's see how effective these are at getting over the not the Cascade, but the coastal range here. Because there's some stuff coming. Yeah, you could get a coating with this. I'm telling you, when you get into the yellows here, it seems like, you know, you're in a snow globe. It's pretty exciting. And actually, look at this on the coast. There's some heavier amounts showing up in some of these showers. Highway 101. Anybody out here on the coast getting some of this snow? I know it was snowing in Astoria, but how much is... Looks like it's kind of heavy there on 101. Langley radar. That is not snow right there. This is actually wave action out over the water. And again, maybe I'll get another shower tonight. There's some stuff moving in here. It looks like it's dissipating, but it's not really so much because it's just becoming more apparent to the Camino Island Doppler. Okay. Now let's take a look. So I was talking about the snowfall potential here. Actually, let me back that up. Let's go to... I was looking when... So Olympia drops at 32 at 06Z. That's what we were talking about. And then we looked to see... There's snow out there. Yeah, so it's snowing across Kitsap towards SeaTac and Renton. Yeah, it continues on into early Thursday morning as well. Okay, so yeah, that's... Okay. So that must be... So let's scroll out there towards Wednesday and we'll play through that. And yeah, you can see it right there. In fact, I'm going to zoom in on that. I looked at this a little bit earlier here, but if we take a look at Seattle, I mean, look at this. This is snow depth change in inches. Look at Renton. 10 inches, SeaTac 5.6, Boeing Field 3.6. And if you go to something like 10 to 1 and you want to get crazy with it, I mean, look at some of these amounts showing up. Kuchera ratio, my goodness. I'm telling you, these little features like that set up over right off the coastline. Again, as we go through, this is Wednesday night. This feature right there is going to be some kind of deformation band, and there's going to be some kind of lower level convergence going on, and there's going to be some interesting snowfall potential. We got to watch that feature very closely so nobody gets surprised by that one on Wednesday afternoon through Wednesday night. Patty Gifford, Normandy Park. 45 minutes weather since 25%. Oh yeah, then you came out and you were totally covered, and so you were in the were you at the QFC there? Yeah, I see Patty Gifford mentioning that she came out and just totally covered. Yeah, we got an inch of snow out of that shower. It's just absolutely slick as heck out there. Yeah, there's a lot of chat coming through. I can't answer all the questions, guys. Thanks, but I make sure to answer all the super chats for sure, though. Shelly says 19 degrees in Linden, Washington with wind chill snowing good now. Thanks, Shelly. Brian of Oregon, can we get someone with gigantic fans below heavy snow for 10 hours? Yeah, I'd love to see it snow for that long. Oh, someone just checked in here. Keith Evans, starting to get northeast winds here just north of Arlington out of the Darrington. Oh, okay. Let's see if that shows up in windy at all. Thank you for the generosity, Keith Evans. Darrington. It doesn't show up too much. It's still showing southerly, but it's not that I don't believe you or anything. Sometimes the windy app is lagging too. Sometimes it doesn't update too quickly. But yeah, you can see the northeast wind coming here. So things are going to slowly be turning from onshore to a bit more offshore as we go through the next couple of days. And then we're going to have some of that offshore flow going on. And we're going to try to bring that low pressure system. What kind of punch is it going to have by the time it gets back into us on the day Wednesday? The European shows it kind of moving back towards the coastline there. And it's showing some areas with some pretty darn right heavy snowfall as that moves in. And also I want to take a look at, so Portland has dropped by 0.60. Portland is below. So let's take a look at Portland, Oregon. So on the day Wednesday, so during the daytime, this is probably going to be sloppy and partially melting mess. You go through Wednesday night, and then you can see kind of that jump there as you go through Thursday morning. So yeah, there's snowfall potential for some of the Portland Metro coming up here as you go midweek. Let's see, so let's go from 3.7 to, okay, we'll check that out on Thursday morning. We'll take a look at the temperatures here. Yeah, right around freezing, close. But man, pretty chilly up here across western Washington. Especially up across British Columbia. Oh yeah, Groundhog Day today. I guess the groundhog saw its shadow for 6 more weeks of winter. Everson Calm 25. Looks like it was snowing in Lake Stevens there. Can you explain how straight effect snow works? Yeah, so that's something I was looking at a little bit earlier as well. So let's take a look at this. And we're going to zoom in here a little bit more Pacific Northwest. We'll take a look at surface wind. So you see as this cold air is moving out of the Fraser River Gap as we go through tonight, right there. That's that northeast wind I was showing you on the windy app. So watch as it creeps across out towards the San Juans. Now you can imagine this is very cold air. And when it moves across the strait, it picks up moisture. You know, it's relatively warm here. The Puget Sound and the Strait of Georgia and Strait of Juan de Fuca are fairly warm. So it can pick up moisture as it moves across the water. And then if it slams into terrain in Vancouver Island, what happens when you slam wind into terrain? It starts to lift, then it rises, it cools, condenses, forms clouds, precipitation, and then it can snow when it's pushed back into the terrain. So there's also the feature where it moves down a little bit more out of the northeast and into the northern portion of the Olympic Mountains. So when that wind moves out across the Fraser River Valley back out over the strait, it picks up that moisture and it deposits it, pushes it into the slopes of the Olympic Mountains, has nowhere to go but up. You bring air up, it cools, condenses, and you get that snow. And sometimes you can get some very heavy snowfall amounts if these line up just right. Am I going to stay to the 0Z Euro? That depends on how I feel. We'll have to take a look at that. But yeah, it might not be a good idea. I might have to take a break though and grab a restroom break or something here in a little while. But as we go off towards like Monday, you can see it is emerging a little bit more. In fact, let's do this. We'll do Vancouver. Yeah, it's not too bad of a view there, but let's take a look at that. you can kind of see how it's not a perfect track. A lot of the strongest wind is more the easterly component back towards Victoria. So maybe Victoria will score a little bit better than the north slope of the Olympic Mountains. But that is the straight effect snow as it moves across and out of the Fraser River Canyon, picks up moisture and slams it into a terrain feature. And on a larger scale, that's what happens for the Cascades. When you bring like this Arctic air back out over the Pacific Ocean, you're bringing very cold air out over the region. You're picking up moisture and it's very cold, it's convection, and then you slam it back into the Olympics and the coastal range and the Cascades of Washington, and you can get just absolutely huge amounts of snowfall. And that's why places like Mount Baker and Mount Rainier over the last 50 years have both held records for most snowfall ever in a season ever recorded. So Mount Baker and Mount Rainier. And that's because of, these features here. The Pacific Ocean creates its own snow machine. Kevin Miller, thanks for the generosity. Winter storm watch for South and East Vancouver Island. Local squalls Monday night and Tuesday produced 20 centimeters as posted by... Yeah, okay, so let's look at... That reminds me. So thanks for the generosity, Keith Miller. Let me look at... Let's do the Canadian high resolution model. We go to 10. Let's see, we'll do knots. Actually, no, we'll just do kilometers per hour. Which one shows up better? Knot shows up a little bit better. So this is the Canadian high resolution. It's actually a higher resolution model than the North American, if I am not mistaken. I believe it's 2.5 kilometer resolution. Okay, so here we go. Let's see. We're going through tonight. You see, where is it here? There we go. There's the Fraser River. It shows it really getting ramped up here as we go through the early morning hours. Slamming it back in towards Vancouver Island. You still see you got the southeast winds here, so that's not going to be at least an initial impact here for the north portion of the Olympic Mountains. But it is slamming it back in towards Vancouver Island. And this is actually running as we speak. So let me back up to the 18Z. And then it does bend back down towards the Olympic Mountains as you go through late Monday night into Tuesday. Will that be an impact here? Well, let's go ahead and take a look here. We'll get 3 hour total. We'll run through this. Does it show? Okay, so let me see when the wind is best here. We'll just duplicate that so I can look at both of them here. We'll go to surface wind, knots. So it starts to push into the Olympic Mountains as we go through. Oh, no. That always happens. It resets on the newest model run here. So yeah, it doesn't really show it getting to the Olympics too much. And I didn't see too much in the snow there as well. But it could still happen after that also. So we'll just continue to check back there. Water time. Oh, but yeah, so let's do Canadian high resolution model. Let's back up here a little bit. So this starts at 4. And that came in at about 6. So maybe it was this here. Yeah, I think it was a little bit off that band, but it's doing pretty well with some of these bands coming up across Northwest Washington. And then you can kind of see this emerge as you go through Monday morning. I don't know if that is straight effect snow here. It possibly could be, or it's just still moisture wrapping around the upper level low, still interacting with some of that colder air moving out. And it shows something coming here Monday night for some of the southern Puget Sound, some of the Washington coast as we go through Monday. Let me back that up a little bit there. Still shows that snowfall for some of the Washington coast as well. Kind of a break here as we go through the day tomorrow for some of the Puget Sound up towards Bellingham, southwest BC. Now let's see what happens after that. Then you get some snow showers coming back Monday night up across some of Seattle. Look at that Kitsap Peninsula, Olympia. Southwest Washington starts to get ramped up here again. Some of Victoria, and yeah, it starts to move up again towards Skagit, Whatcom County as we go on in through Tuesday morning also. So yeah, we got multiple rounds still to go here, folks. I'll just run through the 48 hours there. And if we look at the North American model, oh, let me back that up and we'll do that. And we'll take a look at this and kind of compare what we just saw. So maybe a little bit of a break on Monday, but still some showers out there moving around. Here we go on into Tuesday morning, some showers around Kitsap. Lows pulling away a little bit at this time. Still some showers moving around Tuesday night. Yeah, Kitsap Peninsula might be kind of under the gun. And that makes sense because there'll probably be some surface flow out of an easterly component there, maybe bringing some upslope flow back up into the Olympics out of the east as we go through Wednesday morning. But the North American model does not go far enough out to see if that's going to show some of that snowfall for Western Washington and Oregon. So let's back out a little bit here and we'll take a look at the lower resolution North American model. And here we go. So there's that the surface low, actually, I should say. And then it kind of, as we go through Wednesday, it does show something here. It kind of pushes back towards the coast as you go through the day Wednesday. And that's probably the Willamette Valley's best chance, and maybe some snow back up into Western Washington as well. Oh, what happened there? Okay, back in here. All right, got over 1,000 people on the live chat here. Very nice. Welcome, everybody. Welcome. If you guys missed this, if you just joined late, let me show you what happened here in Normandy Park today. So this is what happened just as the sun was setting. Look at this absolute wall moving across the Puget Sound. My goodness. And this thing coated the ground within seconds. Huge barrage of snow pellets. Let me play that through again. There's Three Tree Point. You can usually see Vashon Island clear as day out across. Not with this thing moving across. And look at how it just cut off the visibility. I mean, what a sight moving across the Puget Sound there. Normandy Park, Burien just slammed. And this ended up producing a thunderstorm. We had thunder snow out of it as well. And let me show you what happened when I had the drone up too long trying to land it, and this barrage of snow pellets going on there. And yeah, you can see them bouncing around out there as well as I brought it down. So yeah, that's what happened tonight. And the pattern here, of course, is that cold air spilling off the continent. You can really see the streamers coming off of West BC. Haida Gwaii is there, and then it picks up some of that moisture, very cold air aloft, and it continues to bring round after round of shower activity into the Pacific Northwest. No ice event as of right now. We're not looking at temperatures getting quite cold enough. We're not looking at that shallow level of cold air getting out right now. It's not that cold east of the mountains where there's a big cold pool ready to be pulled out. We're not looking at that yet, but that could happen later on. Maybe, over the next, maybe in a week or something like that. It depends on what the pattern shows. Models are kind of flipping and flopping on how cold we're going to be as we go through the extended forecast. Yeah, some areas do have winter weather advisories, and that's something I was going to mention as well. So if I do this, what happened today across some of King County with the thunder snow and the coating of the ground? People were slipping and sliding. Winter weather advisory was fully warranted for the Seattle Metro tonight. It was fully warranted today. They should have probably had it out. And I don't know exactly what was going on across some of Everett. I know the snow wasn't as heavy there, but the snow that came through here for Western King County and the Seattle Metro, it was pretty disruptive. And I can't imagine the flight delays going on at SeaTac. I haven't checked, but it was probably pretty bad. And again, the road out front is covered and people are slipping and sliding. So it was fully warranted to have that winter weather advisory out for the Seattle Metro as well. In fact, let me try this as well. I think, is this the one here? This might be it. Let me put that in there. This was the south view here that I had. So this is looking, the other one I was looking more to the west-northwest. This is looking, you can see Point Roberts there. There's the lighthouse right there. Tacoma's off in the distance over here. And this is Vashon Island. And this wall just making its way. This is real time right there. This is the real-time look at things here. So again, it was just very impressive looking coming across. I'll speed it up a little bit. And I think I had the settings on manual and I did not fix them. That's why it's kind of grainy looking. I should have just put it on auto because I was kind of in a rush, but I forgot to check the settings. I had 2 drones up, by the way, so that's why the other one was looking off. But you can see the boat down here by Point Roberts. And again, I mean, what an amazing sight it was. I was just kind of like, oh, what is this going to do? This is going to be awesome. And then there it comes. There it's getting closer, just like just kind of crazy, like a giant curtain coming over you. So I wish I had my settings right, though. It was a little bit strained. I could have done it better because these drones are really good in low light, the Mavic 3 Pro. But again, you can see it making its way into Normandy Park. Des Moines is back over to the left. Redondo would be down here. Saltwater State Park is off down there somewhere as well. And you can see the lights on the hills. And then if we scroll through that a little bit more, you can see it just kind of take over the drone. And there it was. Point Robinson. Yeah, then there's shower potential here over the next few days as well. So if I'm going to back this out. We're going to go to North American Model 3 kilometer, and we're just going to kind of look at that. So from a wide view, this is about where we are now. There's about 8 o'clock, 9, 10, 11, 12. Still see the showers out there kind of moving around. You know, maybe Chehalis, the I-5 corridor, getting another coating as we go through the overnight hours and the early morning hours. Trying to move up towards, again, Federal Way, Tacoma, maybe up towards King County there. Off and on showers for the Willamette Valley. But look at this. There's a little vortex here as we go through Monday morning. Look at that for the coast. Kitsap Peninsula. South slope of the Olympic Mountains. Gets out over the Kitsap Peninsula there. Moves north. Maybe gets Whidbey Island, the San Juan spinning around. And look at this band of snow as well. I mean, this is going to be impressive tomorrow. The models are pretty locked in on this as well. That's going to bring a nice round of snow for Bend, Oregon, Baker, perhaps back towards Pullman, Washington. Again, sorry about the rain there in Boise, but we just did not get the Arctic air down that far. And then you see this bounce across eastern Washington now. Wow, this is hot off the presses. So that's interesting. That's bringing some significant snowfall to eastern Washington also. And it just kind of continues as you go on in through Tuesday night, Wednesday morning. And again, if you're watching this upper level low here, again, it's just spinning shower after shower after shower back across the region. And eventually this low is going to start to pinwheel back towards the coastline. And so then we'll be watching for some deformation bands and what kind of punch this low pressure system has left by the time it's spinning off our coastline there. And we'll see how cold things drop off. Yep, I just talked about Bend, Oregon there. I've been talking about Willamette Valley for a lot of the video here. Yeah, hopefully Southern California is going to get that. I see somebody from Southern California checking in. You can see this frontal system trying to drop down here. Hopefully that can get down towards Southern California. But look at the snow coming for the Sierra Nevada as well. It's amazing technology we have compared to when I first started studying weather and you're on AOL trying to get like maybe one Doppler radar screen look at things, or maybe a satellite image if you're lucky, if you can connect to the internet. Yeah, some nice, yeah, Garrett mentioned that too. I mean, look at this band as you go up through tomorrow morning across Southern Oregon. There's Roseburg right there. There's Bend, Oregon. Like, I mean, Crater Lake is going to get a nice dose of snowfall. And a lot of that does move up into eastern Washington as well. Look at that. Maybe a couple inches there for your freight. In fact, I'm going to play through that and see what it does show as far as snowfall potential. Let's go to winter. And we'll just do Kuchera. And we'll scroll through here. Bend lifts north. There's Bend. Looks like 3, 4, 5 inches for Bend. Does bring some, and some of these grays show maybe 1 to 2 inches here better north of I-90, Spokane, maybe an inch or two. And just huge amounts across some of the higher terrain of Idaho and Montana. This is going to be so beneficial to some drought-stricken areas across Idaho and Montana. Very nice to see that. And as far as it goes is Wednesday morning. Some nice amounts there for the coastal range, but we do get, it looks, the NAM wants to give us a little bit of a break here over the next couple of days, but not all models are in agreement with that just yet. And plus, as we cool down a little bit, you don't want to let your guard down at all. It doesn't take much to make things slick. You've got mail. Yeah, it's a bummer, I know, but the Willamette Valley may get its chance later this year. We'll see how that goes. Let's take a look at actually somebody said the GFS was running. Let's take a look. Does the GFS show that feature that I was talking about? The European's showing an interesting feature with the low pressure system getting towards the coast on Wednesday. Could bring some snow here, maybe for the Willamette Valley at times. We'll see how that goes as we go through the day, Wednesday night, and maybe back up across western Washington. So let's look at things as we go right now. Monday morning. So maybe a break for some of the Puget Sound here tomorrow. It looks like there's still some of the coast getting some action. And again, that band bounces north. Models in pretty good agreement there. But then as you go through Tuesday morning, it looks like some of western Washington still getting snow, or starts to get snowfall a bit again there. Upper level low, the surface low boat, they pull away here from the coastal areas. As we go through Wednesday, here we go. So it tries to bring that moisture. Yeah, it does show this feature coming here. So that's going to be probably the Willamette Valley's best time as you go through Wednesday night into Thursday morning. And that could bring some moisture to western Washington. And then that next system, look at this one, just barrel into California, push another round of precip across Oregon, maybe clipping Washington, Idaho, and Montana again. So yeah, we'll see what this low does. It's going to be interesting because it doesn't take much. These little features here can really overperform, and we should have some cold air in place as we go through the day Wednesday for western Washington. It'll be kind of close as we go for the Willamette Valley, but let's take a look at temperature just to kind of, actually we want Fahrenheit. So as we go through Wednesday, notice it is chillier across Seattle, but once precipitation starts, you may be able to drop it down towards freezing here. And we'll take a look at surface moisture, dew point. It'll be close, man. I wish I had better news for people around, but that does, there you go. There you go. Maybe Wednesday night. It does drop things below freezing. And it's going to, this is a chilly upper level low too. So you're going to be pulling cold air down. And snow has a way of surprising you. So you always want to check back with the daily forecast. Everybody's going through the old computer stuff. Yeah. I can remember we're just trying to load AOL. I had an old computer when I first tried to do it. And I had to sit there for like a half an hour while the page loaded like bit by bit. And finally like the mailbox would show up. And then like after 30 minutes, it would load your email. And if you were, I couldn't even like go and try to surf a web page on that one. So, but yeah, good thing the internet got a lot better. 960 people still watching. Thanks, everybody. Windy app. Northeast winds starting down the Fraser River Valley. Southerly still up to Puget Sound. Westerlies on the coast, ushering in this cold air aloft. You can kind of see that terrain feature. There's Williams Lake back here. Cold air conduit, the Fraser River Valley back down in towards Southwest BC, Western Washington. Yeah, there's some, I mean, there's some agreement though on the overall scheme of what's going to happen next week. Because if you look out onto Wednesday, you can kind of see this precipitation out here as this low gets towards the coastline. And if we take a look at the 18Z GFS, it does have something similar as you go through Wednesday afternoon and evening as well. And we're going to wait till we get closer. But I've been watching this and thinking about this for a few days because if we back up, and I'll show you, I showed something earlier. This low here is going to start to pull back as we go through Monday and Tuesday. There it goes. Surface low is going to be kind of in a similar place. But then as the trough starts to drag itself back off to the north and east, there's going to be some kind of a surface low with some subtle features right off the Washington coastline there. And I've been thinking about that. Are the models going to start to latch onto this and start to show some snowfall? And then the 18Z European really kind of showed a nice band here across some of western Washington and some snow potential down even into Oregon as well. So that's kind of the feature we're watching there. And if I take a look at the same thing on the GFS, you see that low spin in there, and you still kind of see the feature right there. So yeah, they do show some similarities with the low as it starts to reapproach the coastline as we go through Wednesday night on in towards Thursday morning. So we'll be watching that one. There's still going to be some cold air around for that one. More to Kitsap Peninsula. Thank you, Jeff Nooney, for the generosity. Yes, there's probably more coming. In fact, the North American model looked pretty interesting with that. Let me bring this up. So if we go over the next few days, you can kind of see it. Watch the Kitsap Peninsula there. See the multiple rounds of showers just kind of moving across the area over the next 60 days. And that makes sense because we're going to get a little bit more of an easterly component as the surface low backs up. And that can bring some of the upslopes snow into the east slopes of the Olympic Mountains. And some of these showers moving up might have a little bit of southeasterly component with them as well, back up into Kitsap Peninsula and some of the Olympic Mountains. So yes, Kitsap has the chance to continue to get snowfall. I mean, let's see. So again, as we go through the day tomorrow, there's still some showers out there north of Seattle. There's Monday night, still some showers out there. You don't want to sleep on this stuff because we're going to be plenty cold enough for this to be below freezing on Tuesday morning. So you really got to watch this stuff. These little subtle features, again, even for like Tuesday morning, and we back up here and you go into Monday and tomorrow night, Tuesday morning, you really got to watch those little subtle features. And then we start to kind of dry out there a bit. But even so, the European kind of keeps some precip across western Washington. Maybe that'll be really on the light side because the GFS does not show it. However, then that low starts to approach a coastline again and starts to spread some moisture back north. How far north would that go? We would still have to wait till we got closer for that. But yeah, there's a chance that you might, after tomorrow, start to dry out across places further north. Yeah, Victoria has snowfall potential the next couple days as well. Let me back this all the way up. So the eastern Washington, again, there's a couple showers it looks like as we're going through tonight. Watch for this band here for eastern Washington tonight. In fact, let's see if we can even see that because this might still be, let's see. Is there anything out there right now? There is this stuff coming here. So that might have been it. So that moved across Spokane, probably just starting to end the snow there. And I don't know if there's anything coming after that for eastern Washington. But as we go through Monday, you'll see this next band riding up. That could include portions of southeast Washington there. And that does bring something up towards Spokane on both the GFS and the European, and heavier amounts across Oregon, of course. But yeah, there could be some eastern Washington hope there as we go on in through Tuesday, and then it moves through, kind of still hanging out for some portions of southeast Washington as that system finally kicks through on Wednesday. And then who knows after that. Ooh. It's snowing about 20 minutes outside. Yeah, I believe that. So you must be out across some of the higher terrain out in farmland. So you must be further north because, yeah, I was getting reports of good old-fashioned rain in Boise. What else was I going to show you guys here? Oh, yeah, take a look. We're Yeah, we're getting close to 94.5. So when were we at 90,000? We'll have to go back to 90 days. When were we at 90,000? Right about December 23rd. So that would put us about a month away from 100,000 subscribers. And then I can get that, what is that, some kind of plaque from YouTube? I forget exactly what it's called, but there's something they put your channel name on some kind of metal award looking thing or something. So that'd be interesting to get that. I subscribed to 2023. Yeah, thanks for everybody, the early subscribers. If we take a look, you can go all the way back. You can go lifetime. Even as of December 2021, we had a pretty good snow there in December in 2021, a pretty cold period. And that's what really kickstarted the channel. It took me a while to get monetized. I mean, look at this. I only had, it took me, so November from June. What is that, 5 months? It took me 5 months to get 200 subscribers. It's actually really hard to get subscribers, but once you start to get a foothold, and if you're consistently doing it, you can do all right. Yeah, I wish it would tell me who subscribed when. Silver play button. That's right. Okay. Silver play button. But yeah, after that December snow, I jumped up over 4,000, and you can see these big jumps as we went through. And that was the bomb cyclone jump right there. From 74 to 88. Wow, that was a big jump. Okay, so somebody's telling me to look at the GFS again here. Let's just do just the GFS. And we'll back out to the Pacific Northwest. Actually, let's go to Northwest, a little bit wider view. So, okay, so here we go. Showers moving around, low backs up. We get a little bit of a break. Surface low gets back towards the coast as we go through Wednesday night. What will that do? Good question. Cold air still fully entrenched. Another system goes through Oregon, perhaps back up into Washington, Idaho, Montana. Still dry for Western Washington. Then on Friday afternoon, yeah, it does start to show some reappearance. Let's do this. Marginal stuff for Seattle right there at about freezing. What happens after that on the 0Z? 174 hours. So let's do this. We'll go to North America. We're still in a chilly flow there, but what's going to happen here? Yeah, I have little confidence in the extended forecast right now. I know they've been showing kind of a chilly signal, but it has been flipping and flopping quite a bit on the placement of polar lobes and things of that nature. Lori Paulson, thanks for the kind words. Yeah, 14,000 people signed up right around that bomb cyclone time. Yeah, and when the moon comes out, watch out for the chilly overnight lows. John and Ann, thank you for the generosity. I think you donated a couple nights ago too. Yeah, we're probably going to get showers tomorrow, and then maybe another round tomorrow night into Tuesday morning, and then things may start to dry out a little bit. But as we go through Wednesday, you're going to want to know, Wednesday there's a possible of moisture a little bit more widespread coming back into the region. And after that, it's really up in the air what's going to happen. I mean, the patterns have not, the deterministic runs has just been all over the place. I think I even forgot to look at this morning's European. Let's look at this morning's European. There's our polar low, backs up, tries to eject back across. We continue kind of this north flow. That's pretty chilly. Ridges up into Alaska, still pretty chilly. That's a pretty chilly pattern there on this morning's European ensemble members. On the western periphery of this tropospheric polar vortex. And then, of course, it smooths out. But let's also do this. Let me back up here, and we're going to go to European Artificial Intelligence to kind of take a look. I have not looked at this one yet either. Oh, the 18Z is out, actually. So, okay, let's do that. Okay, so here we go. That ejects through. Still the chilly north flow. Little short wave. Some blurb moves through here. Ridge still hangs on the western periphery. Still kind of a chilly flow there. But then we start to turn things a bit more westerly. That's maybe a little bit northwesterly. Yeah. Not telling us too much. Let's go to upper air temperature. Let's take a look at this. This can kind of give you a better picture sometimes in the 500 millibar heights. That shot stays mostly east, but we stay chilly. Maybe a system coming through then. So, yeah, it doesn't show any more Arctic air making direct impact into the Pacific Northwest, but it still kind of shows it being chilly. Maybe there we'll get clipped by that a bit. So that still keeps us chilly out 200 hours. So we'll just have to see what. Yeah, I don't have much confidence in the extended right now. Yeah, some people getting a little spicy in the chat here. 1 inch on the ground, 850 feet elevation, Port Angeles. Yeah, I forgot that. I was going to ask about that too. I wonder if they left a voicemail. Because Highline School District did call me. In fact, I'm going to check the email right now. 2-hour delay, Monday, February 3rd. Buses will stop at their regular stops 2 hours later than normal. So 2-hour delay. That was always a little disappointing when you thought you might get a snow day when I was younger. You get a 2-hour delay instead of the actual snow day itself. But at least they're paying attention, right? Checking out some of the chat here. Yeah, so a Cliff Mass fan showed up to troll when I wasn't looking. The funny thing is I've seen that guy on my channel a lot, so he's obviously watching, but I don't know why he's trying to stir stuff up. I'd rather everything be nice and calm and me and Cliff go back to being friends like we used to be, but I can only control what I control. Okay, so we can do this. Let's look at some of the recent HER model runs. High resolution rapid refresh. Let's just go to Pacific Northwest here. Okay, so this would be about 9 o'clock. Still see we got showers out here moving into the Olympics. There's a nice shower moving up there towards Arlington as we go on the overnight hours. Still some showers across Bellingham, Southwest BC, San Juan's, and Victoria area passing through. That could drop a few inches of snowfall, a couple inches of snow, maybe 2-3 inches. Looks like some of these passing showers go through tomorrow morning, right across SeaTac. And then you can see the Kitsap Peninsula kind of gets under the gun here a little bit as you go through tomorrow. Some of the coastal areas getting some nice snow. You can still see that rain, snow mix into some of the Willamette Valley as you go through the day tomorrow. Again, Kitsap Peninsula through the day tomorrow. Then you see showers like this kind of move up during the day at times as well. So you can't really rule out many areas for a shower as we go through the day tomorrow. This is tomorrow night. Still some of the showers moving around. Actually, we're looking at the NAM anyway. I think I've already looked at that. Sorry about that. Let's go to the high resolution, and we'll go to the 03Z. So let's take a look at what is coming here over the next 18 hours or so. In fact, I don't think it goes out quite that far yet. It's still running. But yeah, we could get some showers through the overnight hours tonight. You could get an inch or two out of some of these showers. And I'm interested to see what this starts to do. What did I do here? For some of the Willamette Valley, because the temperatures were kind of marginal, but that can easily drag the snow level down as we go through on into tomorrow morning. And then you see some of these showers moving across SeaTac. It doesn't take much to slow SeaTac down. But yeah, you can see the showers continuing to pinwheel around the low. That's why you might go out at the coast tomorrow, because there's some pretty interesting stuff showing up on the coast. I wouldn't even be surprised to see some of these spinning off on the coastal areas as well. Maybe some rotation in the atmosphere there. I see that deleted message. Why is Michael mean to Cliff? Have I been mean to Cliff Mass? I haven't been mean to Cliff Mass. I don't know why that's even coming up. Okay, so let's see. Yeah, look at that band, though, hovering down across southern Oregon. That's pretty fun stuff. Then it starts to bounce north tomorrow. So yeah, if you're in Bend, Oregon tomorrow, watch out for this as you go through the afternoon hours. That's coming up. Oh, I wanted to check this out as well. So let me look at if we have any helicity with any of the showers. Yeah, we got a little bit there. Once you start to see the light blue, that's enough helicity there to get a little spin in the atmosphere. But you have to be really careful with this. You can just kind of look out across some of these frontal systems and you're like, oh, look at all this helicity. But it's important to know where the convection is taking place and where the showers are. So yeah, you could get some rotation in some of these storms going through the day tomorrow. If we leave, we're going to leave early. And I don't know what's been with the HRRR lately, but you can see this. It shows the lightning potential and it's gone. Yeah, I don't know why it's been doing that. Anyway, let's do this. We'll do European. We're going to take a look at instant. So that was for, let's see if it, okay. I have not looked at this yet. Let's see if it showed anything here for the Central Sound to capture that Boeing field strike. Noon, 1, 2, 3, 4. It captured that stuff up there, but it did not get it down here across Seattle. So this one snuck a curveball past the European there. Yeah. Okay, so let's see if it shows anything for tomorrow. Even a little blurb of anything. Not a thing out there. Not a big deal. Another thing I'll look for on the European is if there's any kind of convective available potential energy. If you see any bit of blue on here, but you don't. So yeah, confidence is not high in thunder snow again tomorrow. Now let's do this again. We'll go to high resolution rapid refresh. This is the cheater's way to look at stuff. You look at helicity tracks and you just kind of go through here and you can see possible rotating areas of rotation associated with a storm. I don't see any tomorrow on here, not a bit of it. Yeah, that's typical for Pacific Northwest. I don't even know why I'm really looking at that too much. I have had a lot of snow today. Yeah, keep sending your snow reports. Change required snow quality. Big rig lineup. I saw that Garrett, well, I think Garrett got a snow pellet shower there, eastern portions of Portland today. Yeah, that last round of snow was really nice. The good thing about the high resolution rapid refresh is look at it runs a model run every single hour. So you can see about midnight tonight, Tacoma, Federal Way, SeaTac anyone? There's 1, 2, you can see again, Whatcom County, Skagit, showers still moving through. Coastal area tomorrow, so yeah. And then you can check the next model run there and restart that one. And you see how it changes a little bit there and it kind of backed off on the shower coming there, but it still pushes through Seattle as you go through the midnight hour or so, and still showers coastal area tomorrow. Well, you got some snow today, Matt. Matt is in Federal Way. He likes to say that no weather ever occurs there, but you guys got some snow today at least. I lived at Lake Meridian in Kent for a couple years. 1.5 Lake Meridian in Kent. I used to fish there on the dock sometimes. Do they still plant the lake with trout? Why is this guy still in the chat? I thought I deleted Trumpner there. I mean, this storm has been very close to what's been forecast so far. If you remember me talking about this the last few days, I was cautioning everybody, not everybody's going to get snowfall. It's going to be hit and miss. Saturdays, Sundays are going to be showery. And then there's a potential as we go through next week for some additional snowfall potential and even heavier amounts if things line up right. And that's still where we are. The forecast has been quite good if you've been really paying attention. I mean, it's been quite good so far. And it's been actually quite disruptive for some areas nonetheless. I mean, the stuff that was going on here today by SeaTac and some of Des Moines and Boeing Field and places off to the east, you know, we got a big shot of snow here today, and places up north, and we got water spout and thunderstorm activity. We've had several inches across a lot of the regions. So yeah, it was pretty impactful here today so far. Yeah, Garrett Hartung confirms that as well. Garrett's a meteorologist down there in Portland. His forecast has really been spot on. Yeah, and it's been an extremely tricky forecast. Yeah, it's because you're just trying, because I know when this kind of system comes in, everybody's going to be like, what's going to happen in Puyallup? What's going to happen in Arlington or Quileute, or, you know, back and forth and all over. And so it's really difficult to answer those individual questions like that. So that's why I kind of feel like I'm letting people down sometimes. I mean, even if you forecast specifically for SeaTac, it's still extremely difficult. You can only speak in the language of probability, basically. Yeah, there was no widespread snowfall forecast. We weren't looking at some huge Arctic outbreak. That's kind of why I put out that tweet a few days ago about, hey, we need to kind of back off, because people were saying, you know, widespread snowfall is coming, or, you know, big Arctic outbreak. And that's when things can really get confusing for people. And that's why I put out that tweet saying, hey, there's no slam dunk by any means with the system as far as any individual area getting snowfall or a big Arctic outbreak or anything. This was never a big Arctic outbreak anyway. This was a polar lobe, kind of a mediocre polar lobe, and it's not been perfectly placed, but it does, it's still off the coastline here, and it's been performing okay. We've got some disruptive snowfall. Yeah, and then that's the problem too. Some people get cold air, then not the moisture, and then, yeah. I know that's the thing with Pacific Northwest. Even in the biggest Arctic outbreaks, there's people who get skunked. It's really frustrating, I know, but it's such a huge area. And you think about all the microclimates out there. You're getting rain shadowing behind the Olympics, or you're getting places that are getting convergent zone snowfall to the north of that, or you're getting showers coming in underneath the Olympic mountains, and they're getting Seattle and areas south, and they're not getting up to areas north. Or you're getting strong onshore flow and you're getting snow up north and somebody down south isn't getting it, or, yada, 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 or the cold air doesn't make it as far down to the south. And there's always some place across the region that just gets skunked. And it's frustrating because you hear everybody else having fun in the snow and you're not getting it. And it can be really frustrating. I know that better than anybody. Yeah, I should work the DOT cams into your live streams. That is not a bad idea there as well. Washington DOT cameras. Because I do deal with those at times also, and I use them at work sometimes as well. See if I can get the map going. Oh, wow, look at this. So Highway 18 is actually closed. Tiger Mountain Summit. I wonder what's going on there. Too much snow. I guess that band would have moved across that area. Man, that's got to be a big inconvenience for a lot of people. You got to drive all the way back through Issaquah, back down. And if you're trying to go back out, yeah, that's a mess. I think there's something going on for I-5 as well. What is this? The ramp is closed there. Disabled vehicle blocking the right lane. Yeah, there's some pretty good traffic out there. Check it out. So I wonder if there's anything up there by Highway 18. Does it show anything? There's Tiger Mountain Summit. Looks like there's a pretty good amount of snow on the road there. I-90 looks like kind of snow and slush on the road there. Milepost 25. North Bend, kind of a mix. Snoqualmie Pass, no doubt, probably a bit more up there. Yeah. Let's see what's going on here. So we got, did we do it? We got Bellingham out of the ASO. We're out of the north at Bellingham now. There we go. Now let's see if the Windy app is picking up on that yet. It hasn't updated, has it? Not quite yet. So what are we at? 8:41. We got another about a half an hour before the European starts running or so. If you guys are just joining us, this has been going on. These kind of showers, seemingly random, drop an inch or two of snowfall, can be quite disruptive. We've gotten colder versus yesterday. More places are seeing accumulating snows. Had a pretty good round of snowfall here at my house. It coated everything. Got an inch of snow in about an hour or so. We had thunder snow for Seattle, places up north towards Ferndale, southwest BC. We had thunder snow yesterday as well. North end of Lake Washington. $822 people still watching. We had about 1,100 at one time. Red Bull time for Garrett. Yeah, I'll take 8 feet of snow. No, I see that question there. Is the 18Z Euro out to lunch with totals for East King County? Not necessarily. That's something I've been watching. I don't know if you saw me go over this earlier. I'll go over it again here real quick. So I'm gonna get a really big head after this if this ends up verifying, because this is something I've been kind of watching. I've been mentioning it a little bit here, but we'll look at upper level temperature, 850 millibars, and the anomaly. And so what the 18Z showed here, for those of you joining, this has been pretty spot on. The low is going to be backing up as we go through tomorrow. You can kind of see it retrograde a little bit there. We're moving back off to the west. But then what happens is we pull some colder air out back into the region. And then what does it want to do? It wants to kind of eject back towards the east. And we're going to have this subtle feature that's going to be very close to the coastal areas here. And there's probably going to be some easterly winds and some deformation band activity. And all it takes is a subtle feature hanging up over any given area. And you can get some pretty heavy snowfalls. It could be bringing some snow into the Willamette Valley here as well as western Washington. But if we look at that, in fact, let's jump to this one, and we're going to bring this in a little bit further. We'll go to European, and we will go to U.S. regions, and we're going to go to Washington State here because it's kind of where it highlighted some of the snowfall potential here. And we're going to go to winter, and we're going to go to snow depth change in inches. And then, so as we go out towards that Wednesday time period with that, remember that surface low is right off the coastline there, perhaps spreading some moisture back up into the region. And you can see some of these snow totals building up. I mean, this is snow depth change in inches. This is the conservative side of things. It shows like 6 inches for SeaTac, 10 inches for Renton. And you can kind of see the band there out across King County, back across some of the Kitsap Peninsula, maybe Shelton, back across Highway 12. Some pretty heavy snowfalls there as this moisture tries to move back into the region. And you'll see it even better if I go to Seattle and zoom in on that and look at that. I mean, that would be significant disruptive snow. So you got to watch those little features. And it's something I've been keeping in the back of my mind. Like, okay, if this upper level low is going to drop down, and model's been doing really well. So what happened is that today it started dropping down. And then as it goes through tomorrow, we'll be retrograding. We've been on with that. And so in the back of my mind, I'm like, okay, so either another system is going to develop on the south side of this and move up into Oregon, or this low pressure system itself will try to eject back off towards the east. And then that feature has been showing up. And just today, it started to show this here. So I'm kind of thinking that maybe it's onto something a little bit. But I'm really interested to see if the 0Z hints at this, or if maybe it's possible it just takes it away completely and maybe it brings it back tomorrow. That's just how the model runs go. But if it shows it again for the 0Z, it just adds a little bit more confidence in that. And then if you look at, for example, I'm going to duplicate that and go to the GFS, and we'll do the same thing here with the GFS 0Z run. So again, the retrograde with the surface low spins out here as we go through Wednesday, but then tries to move back towards the coastline. Little cyclonic rotation there, cold air in place, little deformation band feature sets up there. You can easily get some pretty interesting snowfall amounts. And in Western Washington, when you get 1, 2, 3, 4 inches of snow, that's a big deal. And so, yeah, you really got to watch that feature there. Yeah, that I remember the European was hinting at that too. Garrett mentions the February 2023 where Portland just got smashed. A deformation band is kind of where you get, it's on the north side of maybe one of these weak low or any low pressure system. You can kind of get where the southerlies are meeting up with easterly winds or maybe some northerly winds, and just kind of call it a deformation band on the north side of the low or the northeast side of the low, if that makes sense. But yeah, the European kind of can sniff these things out. So when it starts to show it, you kind of have to pay attention. And yeah, Garrett mentioned it there as well. And the European was doing okay with that okay. The European was doing pretty well with the Portland snow event. Ryan is in the house. Ryan was here for the last couple live streams here as well. Still got 866 people watching. Watching for subtle features next week. Additional showers over the next couple of days. How much snow did you get, Ryan? How much snow do you have on the ground out there? I've got 1.3 west of SeaTac. We've got people with more, some people with less, some people haven't seen much. Willamette Valley still waiting for their turn. Yeah, that's just how the weather models are, man. Sometimes the terrain features here in the Pacific Northwest, you really need high resolution models to tease out some of those terrain features. But at the same time, garbage in, garbage out. If you do the GFS and you get some super high resolution terrain feature map, if you're still putting in poor observational data and things like that, you're still going to get garbage out no matter how good the resolution is. So the European's a global model that's kind of really good with upper air patterns and things like that, 500 millibar heights and whatnot. So it kind of, it's almost like an art with the European model. You kind of really got to watch it and you have to sniff out these subtle features here. And so that's kind of what I was thinking might happen. And then it's kind of showing up in the models there. So very interested to see if this continues to trend in the models or, maybe something will change and it'll just be much weaker as we look at the 0Z data. And in fact, I don't remember looking. Let's look at the 12Z here real quick as well. 12Z European model. Get the retrograde, backs up surface low, comes back towards the coast, and yeah, you still got that feature there. So the 0Z was showing it. Let's look back at yesterday's 06. It was showing it there also. I'm not too worried about the individual snowfall amounts showing up. If you see the feature there, the threat is going to be present. That's where you got to not be lured in by the models. You just want to be oh, look at SeaTac is only 1 inch this time. The last run it was 4 inches. You look for these features. You want to know the synoptic evolution of the pattern you are looking at. You don't want to get caught up in just looking at the model run and going like, oh, it said 6 inches last time and it was 0 inches this time. But yet just to the south, it still showed a nice band of snowfall and you're just discounting that. So you really have to just pay attention to the features more and watch the evolution of the forecast. And so if we go to yesterday afternoon, it still had that feature out there as well, kind of right off of Astoria there. So yeah, that low as it bounces back is going to have that potential. And that's when I'm kind of really interested at more of a, some areas getting some heavier amounts. But again, it's not showing big widespread amounts, but it could still be off with that as well. Okay, so 4 inches in downtown Vancouver, 9 inches on the north shore near our mountains, southwest BC. Derek's going to go measure what he got in Black Diamond. Yeah, the 85 one was really good. 85 Arctic outbreak. We just had the Arctic air just pushing down right off short track off of British Columbia. Nice subtle surface feature. Just coasted in just south of Seattle. It was like 22 degrees at Seattle with a nice deformation band on the north side of that. Just absolutely awesome. North winds coming down the sound. Just an amazing setup. I can remember that one, but I don't remember what that looks like in the actual models. So let's take a look at that. I want to look at that and go back to climate. We'll go to, or are we already there? We're already there. So let's go to 1985. I think I was like 12 years old when this happened, something like that. We're going to start on the 17th and we are going to bounce up a little bit here. Free zoom, we are there. Parameters, 500 millibar heights, and we will bounce around here for a little bit and see what this shows. Boise, all heavy rain today. Pendleton, snow and slush 34, just before dropping in Baker City, temp dropped below freezing and car got covered in ice. Nice. Sketchy sound in there. Yeah, you could see some snow fly in the Willamette Valley tonight. I don't know how's that going now. Yeah, check it out. Oh, so what is Hillsborough going to get hit here? Who's going to get this? Just missed Hillsborough. There's Banks. I actually used to stay in Banks. I worked at the air traffic control tower in Hillsboro, and I would come down here and sleep at my buddy's house in Banks, Oregon, right there. I think Highway 6, I want to say. Is that the right number? Ah, that one's going to miss Portland. That's a nice little swath there. That could drop some measurable precipitation, especially across the higher terrain. The coastal range probably got a nice covering with that one. Okay. Sorry about that. What was I doing? 1985, November. Not an overly strong polar lobe there that dropped on the 20th, but we had another storm come a few days later as well. That one was stronger. So let me back this up. Now we'll take a look at this surface low feature right there. Yeah, that's kind of how I remember it. Just perfect trough placement right there. Look at that pressure gradient there across British Columbia. In fact, you zoom in on that. Goodness, come on. Give me a break. There we go. See, you'd look at this low, that's like a 1009 millibar low, and you're like, what's the big deal about that? It's like, that's just a subtle feature, and you got strong convergence to the surface. You got Arctic air flowing into the area, coming across the Pacific Ocean, picking up that moisture. It was just an epic snowstorm for Seattle there. November 1985. .32 in Forest Grove, just west of Hillsboro. Likely some flurries out there. Yeah, 1989 is one of the kings. Highway 6 in Banks. Yeah, it's pretty sick. I mean, look at that. Williams Lake is right about there, about 1041 versus Bellingham coming in at, yeah, you're looking at 22 millibars to Bellingham or so. Nice snow in Upper Puyallup by Meridian. Got about an inch. Great. Yeah, it was awesome snowball. I mean, the snow pellets made for awesome snowball snow. 3 foot high snowman. Light snow flurry in Puyallup right now. Snowing steady with whiteout potential, Fraser River Valley. Well, a lot of times what happens with Kitsap Peninsula is you're getting shadowed by the Olympic Mountains off to the west. You've got a terrain feature known as the Chehalis Gap to the south, and you can get better showers moving through that don't get cut down by any compression coming off of the Olympic Mountains. It's very close right there. Stretches towards Seattle a lot of times too. It's also the region why you can get some, actually some weak tornadic activity out there across the Kitsap Peninsula. Or I shouldn't even say weak because sometimes it's strong, but there's kind of that, the eddy in the wake of the Olympic Mountains there, the Olympic Mountain Velocity Shear Zone. And so you get that flow through the Chehalis Gap, which is a lowered area in the terrain right here. Olympic Mountains are higher. So that compressional heating, some of the rain shadow activity for some of the Kitsap Peninsula. Snowing at Buxton on Highway 26 north of Hillsboro, only 260 feet in elevation. Nice. Ice and slushy in Tukwila and Renton, but no showers. Yeah, I mentioned the water spout in Blaine also, so let's hear. Water spout. Look at it on the surface there. This is up by Blaine, Washington. Bellingham, north portions, northwest Washington. Pretty sweet. You can actually see a boat out there too. I wonder if somebody on that boat got video of that. Everybody's got a smartphone now. Hopefully you would have recorded that. Looks weaker than a lot of dust devils I see, but still pretty cool. This is the drone on the way down during the snow pellet shower. Look at them bouncing off the deck. Pretty fun there too. And this is the wall that was coming across the Puget Sound. Look at the boat rounding Point Roberts down there. I'll back that up. I mean, look at that curtain. My goodness, that was so much fun watching that come across. And then there's this one here. Looking out at Three Tree Point, Puget Sound. And say goodnight. That thing, man, it just coated everything immediately. Intense. One more time. I would definitely be calling ahead if you're flying out of SeaTac tomorrow. Can you explain sometimes why some snow is regular and other times flakes huge and feathery? So most of the time, well, when temperatures are marginal, right around 32 degrees, is when snow holds its highest water content. And at 32 degrees, the flakes are going through, or maybe 33, 34, the flakes are melting a little bit. So when the flakes are moving through the atmosphere, if they touch each other, they stick together, and you can get bigger flakes that way. And sometimes the flakes look like dinner plates coming out of the sky. And that's usually when you're right around freezing or slightly above it. Or if it's, or if you're above freezing where you are, and again, the snow, the highest water content is right around 32 degrees when it's being formed, because the warmer the air is, the more moisture it can hold. So right around 32 is, you still have to have it at freezing. You can't have it any warmer than that if you want to actually get those snow crystals to form. So yeah, right about 32 degrees is usually why you're getting those huge snowflakes. And in this instance, when I show you this one here, these snow pellets coming down, that's because there's convection going on. So in the leading edge of this thunderstorm that was coming through, there's convection and the air is rising back up. It's kind of unstable atmosphere there. And that's why the lightning strike happened. And then you're getting this kind of circulated back up into the storm, and you're getting those snow pellets. You get a little bit of rime ice on them and stuff like that. And then they come back down as these little snow pellets, look like Dippin' Dots. Thanks for the generosity, Kelly Hamilton. Is there some kind of sound you guys are hearing? Okay, let me make sure that is off. Was that mine? Yeah, that's when you'll see it snowing really heavily, like at 32 degrees or so. You'll see it snowing really heavily sometimes. No snow in the moment for Olympia. Now I got somebody saying that it is snowing in Olympia right now. That's kind of the Pacific Northwest too. Sometimes these showers are. But man, yeah, Banks looks like it's about to get hammered. Might just train right over them too. Let's go back up to the Langley Doppler. Maybe a light snow shower coming towards SeaTac there. Maybe I'll coat things a little bit there again. Okay, I'll be right back, guys. I'll be right back, and then the Europeans should start be running here pretty soon. Okay, back. See if the European is running. King Euro. Oh, it is running. Oh, wait. Nope, that was yesterday's. Still not running yet. A few more minutes probably. I lost a couple hundred viewers when I left there. Can you please explain the Chehalis Gap? That is a terrain feature south of the Olympic Mountains. Olympic Mountains are high. Chehalis Gap is relatively lower. Then you've got some higher mountains across some southwest Washington as well. So that's kind of a lower portion of the terrain right there between the Olympics and like the Willapa Hills there across southwest Washington. So airflow is more freer through there. So when you're bringing a shower through the Chehalis Gap, it makes it into like the Puget Sound much easier. Kitsap Peninsula, at least the southern portion, Olympia, things like that. It brings that colder air in also with it. You're not dealing with any compression off the higher terrain. When you run air over the Olympic Mountains on the other side, it drops and it compresses and you get a little bit of warming that can, destroy snow events, for example. Or it can cut off rain. It's what helps cause the rain shadow. Somebody was saying they're going to get 20 inches below 2,000 feet. I think that's the problem with listening to people talk about 10-to-1 snowfall ratios and snow maps. Disabled vehicle blocking all lanes at the summit. 2+ feet on the ground. Oregon 223 highway area, scattered clouds. So that's height in meters. The 500 millibar height is height in meters, which is this right here. So basically when, you're looking at a huge Arctic outbreak, a big polar lobe on the leading edge of some of that very cold air, you might get a reading like 5010 or whatever at the 500 millibars or something like that, or 5100, and then you get the higher heights when you've got ridges. So that's what it means, a constant surface pressure at 500 millibars. My throat's starting to hurt a little bit. Must be from talking for all these days. Traffic and weather on the 10s. Yep, Weather Channel. Don't seem to cover the Pacific Northwest too much. Let's see as we go on into Wednesday. What does the GFS have for dew points for Seattle and Portland on Wednesday? Yeah, so that's the thing. It's going to be plenty cold. If that does start to try to drop some precip, you can see the dew points there for Seattle are in the 20s. Yeah, look at these snow pellets here. That's kind of like what was going on at my house, but they were not that numerous. It was not that deep. Yeah, we didn't get that much. Look at those dipping dots there. My goodness. And those things probably spent several rounds up in the cumulonimbus cloud there. That's some convection going on right there. Yeah, I always use the term snow pellets because there's no official precipitation known as grapple in the National Weather Service. So if you ever want to go back and look at records, they don't have records for grapple. It's not something that's recorded officially by the National Weather Service, but you can look up snow pellets or snow or freezing rain or ice pellets. Yeah, look at that. We gained some subscribers just sitting here tonight. All right. Still not running. Couple, yeah, I saw that on the Doppler there. I didn't see it when I just looked outside briefly. Campbell Valley area. See, one of the main issues is, since we're bringing this up, I noticed that Derek talked about that. Apparently the National Weather Service considers them the same thing. The problem is that I think it was last summer or last spring that Portland was confusing grapple with hail. And, you know, it's then people start calling ice pellets grapple, and they call hail grapple, and then they call snow pellets grapple, and then it's confusing. So I try to be more specific with my precipitation identification. There's actually a time when I'll accept grapple. If you have a definition of what you're talking about, if you're talking about hydrometeor with some kind of ice clinging to snowflakes or ice pellets and small hail, and it all means the same thing to you in your scientific study, and you want to just classify those hydrometeors as grapple in a scientific journal, that's fine. But officially, the National Weather Service should not be using terms like grapple. They do not record grapple. They don't keep any records of grapple. They keep records of ice pellets, small hail, and snow pellets, and snow. They do not do anything with grapple. You'll never find grapple in any official observation. The Dippin' Dot. Oh, you guys can hear that? Okay. Sorry about that. I have my volume down here, so I can't hear anything going on. Brian Anderson, member for 24 months. Second tier channel support. Yep. Got it. Sorry. Thanks. Sorry about that. I'm just going to close that out now. I'm going to close this down for now as well. So what we're waiting for now is the magic of the European model, and it's still 9:15. Now, something you can do here, you got a duplicate tab, you go to Maps. Just click on Maps. The European High Res UTC, that should start at 9:13. So you take 4 plus 5 is 9:13. So it should be running any second now. How's Portland looking? Logging in late. Thank you for the generosity, Nathan Gomez. So there are some showers moving around. It would be cold enough for some of these to fall as snow and perhaps get some accumulation going. But you see right now, Portland's kind of left out of this round, but maybe there's something coming behind that. Right now, it looks like Gates Creek, there's banks getting hit. Cannon Beach, maybe some of that snow's getting down towards the surface. There's Manzanita, there's Seaside. But right now, not snowing, but there are showers out and about. In fact, let's take a look at the Langley Doppler as well. Yeah, there's just been some of these heavy showers after heavy showers just kind of slamming into the Washington coast as you go through the day today. Let's take a look across some of the Puget Sound. This one's going to move close to my house. It'll probably snow a little bit again here. Oh yeah, the video will be available after. Now, this is going to hit right on very close to my house, and it's kind of beefed up there last second, so it'll be interesting to see what that's going to bring. But it'll be kind of quick passing. It might coat the ground a little bit or something, but shouldn't be too much otherwise. Yeah, Garrett's doing a good job answering a lot of these questions. This is me time-lapsing the massive wall of snow pellets that were rolling in to Burien and Normandy Park and then swept to east. Boom. Just a massive wall. Coated everything immediately. If you're just joining, just thought I'd show you guys that again. And this is the other view here from looking to the south. There's a Puget Sound, Redondo's over here. Tacoma would be off behind the shower now. Usually you can see Vashon Island, Point Roberts out here really clearly, but look at this just absolute cloak. You can see the boat here across the Puget Sound, but look at that wall, man. That was so amazing looking. You can see Point Robert, the lighthouse right there where the arrow is. Yeah, we talked about Port Angeles for a while earlier, just talking about the straight effect snow potential. It didn't look great right now, but it's something worth watching over the next few days. My ground is covered out here. There's like a blanket of snow out here in Normandy Park. There's a full inch of snow on the ground. Top weather support, Kevin Hendrickson. Thank you very much. That's awesome. Yeah, it's just like one of those snow squall walls you see coming across the Great Lakes. And here's when I landed. Actually, I'll show you this is as I landed the drone. So the snow pellets had just started and I was trying to get it down. But I mean, it coated the entire area really quickly and I got the drone down pretty fast, but you see them bouncing around there. And this is where we are currently. Still a lot of showers moving back in. You might get some of this overnight. You might wake up to some slick conditions out there. Some showers tomorrow. Starts to pull away a bit, but then the low pressure system looks like it might hang out here off our coastline as we go through midweek. That's what we're hanging out to see the 0Z European for. Oh, we had somebody unsubscribe. Look at that. There we go. 0Z is starting to run. Oh, starting to get a little tired here, so that's good. We'll scroll out to Wednesday, then we're going to call the live stream at that point, so probably another 15 minutes or so. Western Washington weather. The drones that I fly are Mavic 3 Pros. I have the Cine version, I have the regular Pro, and I have the initial one without the first iteration of the Mavic 3. And I have a couple of them I'll fly in even if it's raining or something like that, but my Cine Pro I won't fly in the rain. Yeah, I would start really probably cover your pipes, especially if across Western Washington as you go through like Tuesday morning on, or even, yeah, probably Tuesday morning on. It's going to get pretty chilly overnight into the 20s, especially if you are in the outlying areas. The unsub was a Portland rage quit. Sore throat, tired. You need rest, sir. Yes, I do. I'm probably going to go to bed after this. Thanks for all the kind words. Let's see if that person reset. Oh, there we go. We lost one. We got two back. I'm stalling for time here. We're trying to get the European to go. There we go. Okay, so let's see what this shows. Well, look at that Tuesday morning, man. That would be trouble, I'm telling you what. That would be trouble for Western Washington. This band right there, that would be problematic. That would be sticking snowfall Tuesday morning. Oh, boy. Yeah, I'll drink a Red Bull now, then I'll be up all night. It's kind of half tired, half wired. Yes, we got thunder snow today. We got several lightning strikes up north of Anacortes, Ferndale, Bellingham, and we got a lightning strike right over Boeing Field. I heard that thunder, and I wondered if that was thunder or not. I didn't see the flash, but I heard the thunder. So if you hear thunder, it's an official thunderstorm. So I'm counting that as, I think, my 7th all-time thunder snow here in the Pacific Northwest. But it's also the most skeptical, like the weakest case for it. I've seen some really good thunder snow stuff, like striking planes and stuff, and bolts like a block away and whatnot. So yeah. Yeah, no Red Bull before you go to bed. Any idea why the live chat replay hasn't worked on recorded live? I think it takes like 24 to 48 hours for like all the live chat to finally load up. That's something that YouTube has to process. Let's see. Oh, we got a few more. Look at that. Yeah, so that would be trouble, man. Tuesday morning, nice and cold. Get a 2-3 inches of snowfall across some of the Western Washington lowlands. There's Tuesday late morning. There's afternoon. But also watch this. This tomorrow is going to move up towards Bend, Oregon. There we go through the morning. Look at that. Look at that flex north into southeast Washington. Look at that. You might bring a little bit of snowfall into eastern Washington, Spokane. You got to watch that feature there if you're in eastern Oregon. Maybe some freezing rain on the leading edge of that as well. 6+ inches on the ground. What time? That was about 4 a.m. I was showing you there on Tuesday morning. The BFI strike started out sounding like a car driving, quickly grew in volume. Sweet. We got a solid inch in Des Moines, Washington by the water. Awesome. Okay, so we're going to run this out till Thursday morning, then we're going to wrap it up so I can go to bed. Winter storm warning still up. Oh, let's take a look at that too. They don't have anything out for Bend, Oregon tomorrow. Even though they mention the chances of snow. They don't say much snow is coming now. I wonder if they're going to update this soon. Look at this, Boise, Idaho with the rare. Boise, Idaho is one of the least likely National Weather Service offices to put out graphics. And they did it. Look at this. I'll have to show this tomorrow. Pocatello usually doesn't put out much either. But yeah, they got 2 of them here from Boise National Weather Service. There's Boise less than 1, Mountain Home less than 1. Mainly higher terrain stuff, but some big amounts. Yeah, I'm falling off the cliff here rapidly with my. I'm getting tired. There's Wednesday morning. Okay. The low doesn't look very strong, but let's do this. Let's compare it to what we were seeing. And the surface low is not strong in the 18Z either, so we're not too worried about that. It's like maybe a little bit further north. Also going to do this. Very similar, just a little bit further north though. Maybe that'll bring better moisture in. I'm not sure. We'll have to see. Yeah, that's going to be an interesting day when that low gets back towards the coast. Come on, I just need a few more minutes and we can see Wednesday night, Thursday morning, and then we can go to sleep. Let's see if Pocatello put out anything. No, Pocatello does not like graphics, but they have been doing these briefings in the morning.
Good morning from the National. My name is Carter, and this is your Southeast Idaho weather hazard briefing today as we head into early next week and the first full week of February. North, you see that dry air I was talking about lifting north
copying my format
mountains,
here
Wood River Valley into across the lower Snake River to see some colder air beginning to build in. So a little bit cooler in the morning.
Actually, Reno, Nevada likes their graphics. Medford, Oregon. You got a lot of stuff going on here. Showing snow levels, winter storm severity. Crater Lake, nice snows coming in. Still 750 people in the chat. Yeah. It's becoming the new thing. When I first started, there was very few other YouTube weather channels, very few. All right, I can go to bed happy if it continues to show some kind of setup going as we go through Wednesday night. Breezy girl, buy Garrett a coffee. He's been great at backup on it. Yeah, he's been doing good. I've been struggling here mentally, so kudos to Garrett. I will buy him food when we go out next. Yeah, it's showing something similar there as well. Probably not going to show up quite as heavy, but you can still see it. Some of the Willamette Valley. It doesn't look too bad, actually. And then some of Western Washington also getting a touch of that as well. So let's do this. Couple showers tomorrow. Now we're going into Tuesday morning. Let's take a look at that. Okay, that's not too bad. I mean, there's still some snow flying though, but not too heavy. Another little something bounces back up on Tuesday night, Wednesday morning. And then there's Wednesday afternoon, Wednesday night. Yeah, it's showing that little, it's showing this band here again. Look at that. Very close to SeaTac as you go through Thursday morning. So yeah, I mean, the potential is still there and you can kind of still see it out there. I mean, but that would be some pretty heavy snowfall out there. That's like Kent East Hill. That's just off to the south and east there. So yeah, not much change there. So that's pretty good. Yeah, nightmare forecast continues. But I will do my normal briefing tomorrow morning. I hope. Well, there's a chance I may not. If I go out to the coast, I may just live stream tomorrow and you can hear us talk about everything and we will drive out there and you can kind of visit the views with us as we go tomorrow. But I'm going to wrap this up now and go to bed. I'm very tired. So anyway, hope you guys had a fun time in the chat. Thanks for everybody. We had like 1,200 people in here at one time. But yeah, I'll talk to you guys again tomorrow. I'll probably be live streaming if I go out there. So have a good night.